live.
We're live at 5.
Hi, all of our fans.
Hi,
I'm sure you've missed us.
Let me get this
that,
close.
Pull that puppy close to your face.
4 inches.
That's a lot.
No, I get it.
Yes, I was in Mexico, and yeah, I got some.
Who'd you go with? Who'd you go with?
I was there with just some friends. My buddy Quinn. It was his 30th birthday.
Wow.
So we got to we stayed at a villa like right on the water, which was sick. Had a lovely cook, Sylvia. She made us breakfast and dinner every day. Our houseman / bartender Diego, he took care of us all the whole time, and it was a really fun time.
I think that's the way to do it, dude. It's like literally.
It was a blast, yeah.
Just get a group of people.
Yep.
And don't go to a hotel. Rent a house, get a private chef, get a house manager, bartender.
Yeah.
And then, do they just like take you places?
No. I mean, they were there like if we wanted any sort of, had any asked like question, like recommendations, anything like they were just kind of there to like smooth over whatever we needed, right?
Yeah.
And so they didn't necessarily like they weren't our tour guides or anything. Like we had to, we booked our own excursions and things like that. But they were just there for us, like, if we had questions, if we wanted anything specific. They had a menu that we could kind of choose off of for our food, and it was awesome because my Quinn, whose birthday it was, he actually grew up with the family who owns this villa. So we were actually lucky enough we got the villa for free. We just had to pay for our food basically. So and like food down, you're in Mexico, it's not like anything's crazy expensive. So this villa usually books out for like $2,000 a night or more, and we got hooked up. So 5 nights in Mexico at a beautiful place. It was pretty fun. Hard to come back to reality,
I bet. Why are you even here? Now I know you didn't want to do the podcast today. I get it.
No, we have our company party tonight. That's why.
Why didn't you tell? Dude, okay. I set this up for the dates.
I know.
And I was like, dude,
it's okay. It was just, sometimes you're not thinking about everything that you got going on, right?
Yeah, where's the party at tonight?
It's just at the Funky Taco.
Oh,
so,
it's for the Funky Taco.
Well, it's Funky Taco, Oddbox, and the Still. It's the whole company. So I think we've got like 70 people coming. Pretty good RSVP for the company. But I was just over there. We're just trying to get the space. We've been closed all day, just trying to get the space set up for the party tonight. So
nice.
I just bailed on everybody and said, hey, I gotta go record. I got something important to do. I need to go record a podcast with my buddy Spencer.
Wow, that's commitment.
Yeah.
Okay.
See, and he's over here questioning my commitment.
I need to ask more questions. I need to actually be a good realtor. I mean, podcast host.
To be a good realtor and podcast host. No, it's all good. So it's gonna be chill. We're just like we're bringing in a bartender. Our kitchen crew's gonna whip up a bunch of food and have a nice little spread for everybody.
Yeah.
They're getting in there right now to do that, so I just don't want them to be like having to work. You know what I mean? While we're all having a fun time. So they're gonna do some pre-cooking, and then we're gonna do like karaoke, a white elephant, hang out, photo booth. Hopefully everybody has a good time.
I love it, dude.
Figure out how to raise this a touch. A skosh, as they say.
Yeah, these.
Maybe is it this one?
Well, they got sandbags and stuff on here, but they are not. Yeah, there you go.
There we go.
There you go.
I'm so tall. I just need.
I know. I was sitting. I sat there
be...
before you got here and got it all set up. But yeah.
Is that why my seat was so warm?
Well, it was a little bit.
It smelled a little bit.
We need our own studio. I think
we should get our own studio.
We'll get it.
Hey, maybe at the Airbnb.
We can
put a studio. That would be a selling point for people. Like, hey, comes with a podcast studio.
Yeah, we'll figure out where we're gonna put that. I don't know yet.
I like it.
I only have 2 bedrooms in each unit, so
maybe in the garage. There's just like a little podcast setup.
We could do that, yeah.
Like in the corner?
That means I got to take out the Pac-Man, game machine and the card game table and the TV. I don't know. Huh. It's all right.
How have you been? How's your last 2 weeks been?
Wow, 2 weeks.
Right? Is that, we recorded 2 weeks ago or a week and a half ago, something like that?
It has been 2 weeks.
Okay.
I feel like I haven't seen you forever. No, just working. Just all the projects that are going on. I mean, this podcast, getting ready for this. It's wintertime, so typically it's slow in the real estate market, but,
nobody's making moves like around the holidays or what?
Yes and no. I mean, it's been, the thing is, it's such a crazy time right now. Traditionally in the market, wintertime slows down, Thanksgiving, Christmas. But in the last 5 years, it's been nuts, right? With COVID and all this stuff, it just takes off. And then it's kind of a double-edged sword. Like families come back for Thanksgiving and Christmas here to Idaho to visit people. Yeah. And then they realize, oh my goodness, this is like an amazing, amazing place. And then they go from, hey, I didn't know about this place to, hey, I'm going to move here in 6 months. So it's, but yeah.
So sometimes it sparks that little interest or intrigue because they're, Yeah, makes sense.
It does.
That's good. Do people probably are more hesitant to list during this time of year, though? I would imagine.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely want to wait till spring. That March time frame is usually pretty good to start a new listing. It's just hard because photos don't turn out right. I mean, the yards, especially here, I mean, all the grass turns dormant, it's brown, and it doesn't look as good. People are going through the holiday kind of thing and stressed about presents and gifts, and
Budgets are a little tighter, maybe.
yeah, unless someone's moving for like a job relocation or a divorce, something happened. Outside of that, no, it's just not the best time right now.
All right. So is that nice? Do you like I mean, I'm in a similar business, right, where you get the seasonality, and I'm always like torn because it is nice to have a little bit of like a down season.
Yeah.
Where like the pace of everything slows down. It's not quite as chaotic.
Yeah.
But then like on the flip side, you're also like that comes at the cost of, your business, right? Like to some degree, it's like, well, there's less deals coming through, or like there's less revenue coming through the door, but it's also like nice to get that little break. It's like the weird double-edged sword of being in business for yourself a little bit, right? Is when you have those ebbs and flows.
Well, I'm a little crazy, right? So
Well, I know that. Yeah.
Everybody always
Hey, if you
tries
guys
to
haven't
make fun of
figured
me.
out, this guy, a little crazy.
I mean, seriously, yeah, it's good to slow down and take some time, but it's also, getting ready and geared up for basically the season, right? That's coming up. So it's always good to,
lay the groundwork.
lay the groundwork, get your business goals ready to go, look at new systems, different things you're doing, revamp those, get things ready. And also just maintaining relationships. I mean, a lot of people are like, hey, I'm waiting for the spring. So it's like a lot of stuff prepping, getting ready. Because typically it kind of comes all at once. Like, the running joke is like, hey, go on a vacation and then you're going to get a ton of business, and which definitely does happen. So I probably do need to go on vacation.
Yeah.
But
You got any vacations planned coming up?
no, actually, I think I was going to go fishing in Florida.
Oh.
Like last minute, I think I decided in January I might just go for like 4 or 5 days.
What?
I don't know. I'm just going to go somewhere warm.
Okay.
So I might go to Key West, just maybe down to Tampa, just somewhere.
Nice.
But probably Key West. Just go down and get some fish.
Heck yeah, dude. I know. I went to somewhere warm, but then it was like 60 degrees in Boise in December. While
I know,
was
it's been
in
crazy.
Mexico, and I was like, this isn't cool.
No, that's
should
why you
just-
go down.
Rather go. Well, I mean, we went for my friend's birthday, so can't really move his birthday. Those things
well.
just are inflexible. But it was funny that we were in Mexico, and then it was like, oh, it's been 55 to like 62 degrees in Boise. I had a buddy ask me if I wanted to play golf yesterday.
Yeah.
Could have done it. I didn't, but
Yeah. I mean, last week I had a couple of people told me they wouldn't play golf.
hell yeah.
I was like, dang. So it's
Dedicated.
Nuts. It's nuts.
Dedicated. Well, what do we want to talk about today? I mean, I definitely want to interview you, and
We're going to interview.
And,
Yeah. We're going to get there. Well, here.
last week we kind of focused on me and my journey, my story, and everything. So maybe we do a little debrief of how that last episode went, and then we dive into Spencer Southey real estate.
We can do it. Well, here's the thing. I'm going to give you a little homework.
Okay.
Rooted in Idaho podcast card system. So
Say
best
again?
practice.
Of what?
Rooted in Idaho podcast card system. Did you read the top one?
Okay.
there?
Yep. I got.
So
it. I was
just-
on the wrong one. But
What you
yes.
can do with that one is just read that one, right? It's good
Okay.
stuff. Talks about just,
Should I read it out loud for our
Well,
audience?
yeah, I think the big thing is like time blocking, right? Like I think
Okay.
podcasts are supposed to run long and have those conversations,
Yeah.
but sometimes, hey, man, we got to hit other platforms.
Did you
so-
put our podcast through chat and say like analyze this and give me best practices, or how did this?
Yeah, and to a degree, yeah.
Okay.
We ran a little long on
And they were
some
like
things.
that one guy talks way too much.
We were talking a lot, so
Well, I mean, it is
you
a
know.
podcast.
It is. That's what I'm saying. There's a balance, and we'll get into that. So and that's why, again, we're business partners, right?
Yes.
So we just talked through this, but no, this is just something that just came up, so we can go through how we want to do that. And if we just, you know what, chat GDP is not always right.
That's true.
I mean,
Our AI overloads lords. Ugh, that's a tongue twister.
Yeah,
Say
it is.
AI
It is.
overlords 3 times fast.
Yeah.
They are infallible. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
but no, I think we can definitely get into an interview. I think one of the things I want to talk about today is why Rooted in Idaho. Like, why did we decide to do this? What's the goal of the podcast itself? And just talk a little bit about that, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, for you, why this podcast? Irrespective of the name, I know we went back and forth, on a bunch of different types of names, but why do this kind of podcast? Talking to business owners and just getting connections in that way.
Well, I think for me, it scratches my own itch a little bit, right? Obviously, I'm in that population, and I think it's fun. It's interesting to learn about people. Use this as a platform to hopefully give them an opportunity to share more about their story and what they are doing. And this this kind of concept has been something that's been in my mind for a long time. I think dating back to, I can't remember if it was 2018 or 2019, but obviously, Tree Fort is a huge music festival in Boise. And as part of Tree Fort, they have all these other sub forts, and one of them is Story Fort. And I was part of Story Fort. Again, I can't remember if it was 18 or 19, doesn't really matter. And we had this like building Boise was kind of the idea of this like segment that we did. And it was kind of centered around something very similar, which was like telling the stories of the people building Boise, right? Whether that's business owners, whether that's developers, whether that's, politicians, whoever it is, the people who are kind of shaping Boise, and how do we bring them in and kind of tell their story and share that in a fun, unique way that hopefully is beneficial to them, but also beneficial to the community so that they can, I think you're always more inclined to support and like local businesses when you kind of see the faces behind them and you understand that like there's real people behind every place you go. It's just kind of someone's idea, and someone had to execute on that idea and bring it into reality. And when you are able to kind of hear their story and have some relatability to them, right? Realize that like they're just normal people. They're just a regular person like you, who had an idea and took action on it. I think one, it makes you more inclined to want to support those businesses, but two, maybe it also inspires someone else who's been sitting on an idea to, take action. And then maybe they have some direction, or they have at least a person or a couple people that they're like, oh, I listened to this podcast. I want to reach out to that person, connect with them. I'm someone who's always, am down to grab coffee with someone or whatever. And just, I know there's sometimes in this space, it's like protect your time. And obviously you got to protect your time to some degree, but I'm also like very, willing to meet with anybody and talk about business and give them some ideas and, challenge their ideas or encourage their ideas or whatever it is. So I think those are kind of the two things that like really interest me. Obviously, we're brought to you by The Still and the Funky Taco and Odd Box Breakfast Project and Southey Real Estate. So like there's obviously there's that plug element where like if this podcast does well enough and we get a little bit of additional brand recognition for our own things, like that's great. But I don't think we're coming at this from a standpoint of like we're using this to try to be like this marketing thing. Like I think we're just genuinely, we both like business, we both like talking, we both like meeting people who are doing cool stuff in our community. And then we can use this as a platform to get to know them a little bit. And hopefully highlight what they're doing and how they did it. I think that is just fun and exciting. And like, wherever this goes is fine with me. Right. Like I hope it's successful and people enjoy it, but also like, it's just kind of fun to do.
It really grounds us. It roots us.
I mean, Idaho it's a crazy fast growing state. Right. And, there's a lot of interest and intrigue in Idaho, and I'm born and raised here, and the joke was always like, "Oh, you ride your horse and buggy to school on the dirt roads, right?" And it's like, like now Idaho's like kind of a hot state, and so I think it's fun to just be able to highlight that.
Well, and I think another cool thing about what we're doing is like you were born and bred, raised here, right? So you're a local Idahoan. I'm a transplant. I've been here for now a decade or so. So it's just cool to have a different perspective, right? Someone that's always lived here.
Totally.
Someone that's different. We're both in business, different business that be, but then just have different viewpoints. And like you said, I mean, you have an operating successful business. So do I. I mean, if it helps us, great. But the point of is really just to connect with people and, just had some good conversation and see what's going on in the valley. There's so much growth that's happening. It's just really cool to see that, stay on top of it. And when we can interview people and just like hear their story, I think that's really cool. Cause then it reminds me, cause there's so many options, right? Like, hey, like I could go here or here, but I kind of really connected with that person. I think they do a good job and I want to try to support them. And it just helps to really support local business too, which I think is huge, especially as we grow, right? All the big boys are here, commercialization and stuff. And I think keeping it local has been a really cool thing. And I think that if we can help continue that anyway, I think that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think you're 100% right. And we come at it from, like you said, different perspectives because, I'm operating in the hospitality space. You're in the real estate space. And so you're kind of seeing that like front end wave of people coming in and have like a finger on the pulse of like how the real estate market's being affected. And then I'm seeing on the other end of like the businesses that are servicing all those additional people, and like how the challenges or the opportunities that come with that. So yeah, I think it's fun. And hopefully we can just highlight some people's cool journeys and be a part of, introducing folks to maybe their new favorite local business along the way.
True. And have some fun, right?
Yeah.
Tell some stories.
For sure.
Okay.
Tell some stories.
I love it.
I love a good story.
Okay. Well, what are we going to do next? Are we breaking into like me? Is that what we're doing?
I think that's,
Okay.
that's a good one.
Ooh.
How was that? What's going on there?
Oh, dude.
You got a little
I got a little hip problem. It just like, it's just, don't get old, Casey. Don't get old.
Okay. I'll try. Thanks for that. I'll keep that in mind.
No, I've been going to
my
the
next
gym.
birthday. I'll say no, thank you.
Yeah.
No, thank you, birthday.
No,
I was
thank you.
told, Spencer told me specifically to not get old.
This is kind of a dad joke, but I mean, technically it's not a birthday. It's an anniversary. You're only born once.
That's true.
Right?
It's not your day of birth.
So,
That is kind of a dad joke.
Kind of a dad joke. Yeah. But
okay, so you've been going to the gym.
Yeah, going to a trainer. She still takes me. I mean, this morning she was wearing some jogger pants, and she's a nice lady for sure. I mean, she's a power lifter, so she's awesome. But like,
you're kind of built for powerlifting.
I think so. Yeah. I mean,
I've moved the shit out of some weight.
I've done some things, but she shows up this morning and she's got a beanie on and a tracksuit, and I'm like, "Are you a millennial or like what's going on here? You a hipster?" And I don't think she liked that, but for some reason she keeps coming back.
What's wrong with being a millennial?
Nothing.
Is she a millennial or is she?
I've never seen her wear that before. No, she's like mid-40s.
Okay, so she's a Gen X.
Yeah, Gen X.
Securely
but like,
Gen. Yeah, Gen X doesn't like Gen Xers. My business partner's a Gen X.
Yeah,
and he talks a lot of shit about us millennials. I'm like, why'd you choose me, bro?
No, I get it. So I don't know. I think she was just caught off guard because like I called her, a hipster, and I just it was a joke. It was early in the morning, but I mean,
I think it was a sensible time of the year to be wearing a beanie. I think the hipsters
inside
are the
a heated gym.
I know, but I think
powerlifting.
I still the hipsters are the ones who are wearing a beanie in like August, and that's where you're like,
okay,
what are we doing here?
Yeah, I think I just need to lift more weight and just not talk as much. I think that's the big thing.
That sounds about right.
I try to bring like the whole gym in, like walking by.
What gym are you lifting at right now?
It's Volition right there off of Gary Lane, right across from Hawks baseball stadium.
I don't know anything about it.
Yeah, we'll have to have them on the podcast.
Pretty dope.
Yeah, I think they're good. Yeah, it's all powerlifting. I mean, we always joke around like this is not CrossFit. I mean, it's weird
taking you guys doing like West Side barbell stuff or what?
Honestly, it's just really a lot of like deadlifts, bench, squat, and then, all the other little exercises that go with it. But like taking breaks, it's weird, right? It's like, hey, lift a bunch of weight. And then you're so used to like going to the next thing. Yeah. It's like, take a 2-minute break. I'm like, what is that?
Yeah. Circuit training or like CrossFit has like infiltrated so much of the training mentality of like, you have to always be doing something versus like, if you are training for maximal strength, it is, it's like, hey, get a full rest in.
Yep.
But it's a different kind of thing.
So it's nice.
Well, so what? Your hip just from deadlifting or something or squatting?
I don't know. Again, it just like I got to go to the doctor, but it's just like I can squat, I can do everything, but like I can't do like a split squat.
You can't
like,
you can't cross your leg.
No, I can cross my other leg. So like if I go this way,
groan.
like see, I mean, look, I'm like I look good, but I know you see that.
Yeah.
The other time I got to like literally like lift up and lock it in. It's kind of weird.
Let's see that.
No,
one more time for the people.
We already did it, dude. You already had it
for the people. Okay. Well, let's. Yeah. I mean, Spencer. So I guess let's start with this. Just like, I love the first question on the interview question card library, which is just like, what's your story? How did you arrive at this point in your life and business? Like, take that wherever you want to take that.
Are you sure you want me to steer the ship? Because this could go down a path. I mean,
I would love you to steer the ship.
Okay. I mean, Magellan is my great uncle, like twice removed. Yeah. Was that a dad joke? I don't know.
He's
I don't
full
know.
of them.
Why'd I say? I don't know. It's kind of interesting. You never really, when you look back, like how your life, where you are now, like how you came from here and where you came from. But I think a big thing is you don't start from the base, right? You're always starting from somewhere new. So, all the different transformations and things I've had in my life, from senior care to real estate to the motorcycle business, just everything in between. It's just kind of interesting, that evolution. But I always realized the things I learned and the things I picked up, you can either look at it that you restarted or you started from like a new position of understanding and knowledge and base. And I think, in a short version, that's kind of my story, is just like a bunch of different business opportunities, different things, bought and sold, learned a lot of things. And I think coming to Boise was one of those, right? It was kind of cool.
Yeah, you mentioned earlier already that you're a transplant, right? And you've been here for like 10 years.
10 years.
So I guess where did you grow up? And how did you end up coming to Boise?
Yeah. Okay. Well, I grew up in Arlington, Washington, so about an hour north of Seattle. So I always tell people, hey, I grew up in.
Is that like pretty close to like where you take the ferry over to the San Juan Islands?
Yeah, pretty close.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, because you have multiple ferries that you can take,
Port of whatever.
Yeah, there's quite a few that you can take over that way. You know, whether you start in Seattle or where we're at, you know, a little bit further north. So you can go over there. San Juan Islands are awesome. So as you know, you've been there. Yeah,
great time.
No, grew up there. Did motorsports business with my dad. Then we got into senior care, and then
so your dad was an entrepreneur.
Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely did the motorsports business for 30 plus years. Started as a mechanic, lot kid, and then worked his way up. Got some ownership and did that for that whole time. That's actually what I thought I was going to do for the rest of my life. But you know, COVID comes and different things change your mind on different paths, and that's how it kind of came about. COVID hit, and then you know they decided to get out of the biz. So that's where we.
But you were in Boise before COVID, yeah?
Yes, yeah. But he decided to make that change, like especially at that point. He was already in the transition, and you know, COVID definitely spurred that on. You know, for sure, in that shift of what was going to happen in that kind of industry. So it kind of just back and forth because I didn't know if I was going to stay in Boise. I just came for kind of a slightly different change, and then when he decided he was going in his direction, it didn't make sense for me to come back.
Yeah. So when you came to Boise, you were thinking it was maybe just a temporary thing, just like
just
get
try
out
it out.
of Arlington.
Yeah.
Get out of Arlington, go to a new town, and just kind of spread your little wings. Get out of your.
Yeah.
How big of a town is Arlington? How big of a town are we talking?
Oh gosh, I mean, God, I think Arlington now it's like a meridian. I'd say.
Okay.
You know, it's like a meridian. So it was growing. I mean, it was a farm town for sure, and then. You know, over the years, it's just continued to grow. But
suburban
sprawl. Yeah. So we lived on the outskirts though, but on some acreage. But yeah, no, it's good to get away. You know, I mean, some people stay in their hometowns for their whole lives, and I was like, hey man, I need to try something different. So it was funny enough. I was golfing, and one of my dad's friends was like, hey, and this was in Washington at the time. And my dad's friend's like, hey, I'm taking over this modular construction company in Boise, Idaho. I'm like, what? Let's get in Idaho, like potatoes and, you know, just.
So they ride their horse and buggy on their dirt roads to school. Yeah.
He goes, no, it's awesome. And, you know, it's a really cool little town. It's got all sorts of fun things to do. You should come check it out. And it's just, again, the timing of how things work. I was trying to, you know, my dad was figuring out what he was trying to do. We were doing senior care at the time too. That's a whole nother story. But I was getting out of that. We were going to sell that, right? We're in the process of it. And it's just crazy how his one of my dad's really good friends is like, yeah, I'm moving.
The timing
of it. And I'm like, yeah, let's go try it out. Just see what happens. So
how old were you at this point?
Oh God, I don't know. 18. No, I'm just kidding.
Mid-20s.
Oh my, 37. Yeah, mid-20s. Yeah, I was mid-20s. Yeah. And I came out for 2 days, showed me around, took me up to Lucky Peak, you know, went to some restaurants on 8th Street. And I'm like, man, this place is kind of cool.
Yeah.
So I just said, let's do it. So just, I think I came like 30 days later. So I was here for 2 days and said, hey, I'm making all my arrangements, and
I'm doing it.
Then worked with him at a modular construction company here in Boise, Gurdon Modular Buildings. I think I lasted like a year.
What, you worked for them for a year?
Yeah, about a year.
Okay.
Yeah. And I just said, hey, you know, I didn't want to have a boss, I think.
Yeah.
So, and funny enough, Jerry, who actually brought me over here, he actually ended up leaving. So it was kind of the timing again, where it's like, I knew I was coming out here. I could go back, but then I was like, man, I'm already here. And I didn't want to work for anybody else besides him. That's why I did it.
Yeah.
So I'm like, heck, I mean, I've done real estate since I was,
I was just going to say, were you already in real estate at this point? Or was
I mean,
this
kind of like, I mean, I did it since I was like 18.
Okay. So it's kind of like something that you did like as a side thing.
Yeah. Always just did investing, that kind of thing. So I understood that. Had rentals, did a lot of construction, you know, experience, which is why I came to the modular construction side. It was just a natural progression. After that, I just said, heck, I know how to do it. Let's just go get my license here in Idaho.
Yeah.
And
were you doing real estate? Like, were you doing real estate like sales and stuff in Washington prior to that, or were you just doing yourself? You were doing some real estate
purely.
Like you had already bought some stuff and sold some stuff.
Yeah, purely investment. Yeah, opportunities. I even used an agent sometimes to buy properties too.
Okay.
So
what spurred the like interest in real estate from the? I mean, I think a lot of people, obviously, like home ownership is sort of built into, you know, the American life in a large way, right? Like we're kind of from a young age, like told like that's the part of the American dream is owning a home or getting into real estate, or you know, depending on who your influences are, you might be lucky enough to be nudged in that direction from a young age. But like, how did you as this my microphone is not happy. How did you as a 18-year-old kid in Arlington kind of start like that real estate journey? Was that something your parents were doing? Did you have a different
I
like
mean,
a
a little bit of
mentor?
that.
Did you read a book? Did you, you know, what made you be like, okay, this is potentially a path to building some wealth?
Yeah. Parents for sure. Also, like kind of crazy, infomercial.
Billy Mays?
Billy Mays.
Isn't that his name? ShamWow guy?
What's his name? Yeah, I wish. No, it was kind of funny though.
Infomercial. Okay, this is interesting.
I remember watching TV and I saw it's actually flipping contracts, right? That's what it really was, right?
Okay.
We're not even
Like
getting all that.
wholesaling?
Wholesaling deals,
Okay.
all that kind of stuff. They're like, oh, you can do it. No money down. You
Yeah.
can buy houses. And I just remember going to my parents. I'm like, hey, I'm going to do this. Like, Mom, we need to get this service. We need to do this so we can make some more money. This would be awesome. And
yeah.
they're like, okay. So I actually ended up buying the course. And yeah, it's so
Was it
funny how
good?
that
Like,
started.
no, did you
no, it was
actually? Okay,
horrible.
okay.
No,
So
it was
it didn't
horrible.
really work, but
No, but it kind of spurred in. I'm like, oh, this is awesome. It just seemed cool.
one
And
of those
then-
get rich quick schemes that
Exactly.
like, yeah.
Yeah, I was
a
just
little
like,
too
oh my
good to be
God.
true. It might actually be too good. If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is.
Yeah. Yeah, that and then just rentals and just, you know, construction itself. And then just realizing, I mean, you know, real estate's a great way to grow wealth. I mean, most of your, you know, a lot of your millionaires, like 90%, don't quote me on that, but I mean, a high percentage are millionaires because of real estate, right? So it's a huge thing for a lot of people. And then just talking to people. I mean, it's sales in itself. So, I mean, I love the construction. I love homes. I had that experience, and then just sales itself was just fun. It's cool with this because I move around a lot, right? Like, yes, I have an office. I meet a lot of different people, but every situation is a little bit different. And that's, I think, what makes it exciting for me is that it's always a new adventure, right? From new people to basically a new situation every single time. It's not like I'm selling the same product. So I think that was a big thing of like, this is different. There's different adventures and challenges, and it just kept me interested. I, you know, probably have a little ADD. So
No.
no, not at all.
Not Spencer.
But staying focused when I need to. So that's cool in those scenarios for that. I can focus in, and it just seemed like a good fit. So
When you were, you know, you mentioned like the motorsports business with your dad.
yeah.
Beside, like, did you have any other thoughts of what you would be, what you wanted to be when you grew up? Like,
Baseball player, professional.
Player?
Yeah, probably.
Professional baseball player. You went to college?
Yeah, I went to college. I mean, that lasted for a little bit, but
That lasted for a little bit.
yeah. I mean, I ended up getting my 2-year degree.
Okay.
You know, I didn't want to go for 4 years. Plus, I was going to help my dad. That's the whole point. Was you know,
you're like, I don't necessarily need a degree in anything specific because we got this business that I'm going to go run. And
no, so maybe that's why I got into real estate. You know, I didn't have formal education. No.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, that's a good thing for people to hear, because I think a lot of, you know, I don't know what the demographic of our audience is going to turn out to be, but you know, college is getting more and more expensive, and there's definitely arguments out there of like, is the value proposition of college still there, right? And I think that a lot of young people, or even parents of young people, don't really know what to do besides go to college and get a degree.
True.
Right. And they feel like if they don't do that, that their options are going to be very limited potentially, and that they're not going to have a great career outlook. And so it's always good to, you know, highlight someone who may be like, hey, I didn't go get a 4-year degree. I got this 2-year degree, but I can still make a great living and do something really valuable to my community without like this college path, if that's not necessarily for you.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like anything else, you know. I mean, there's school, and then to me, I mean, there's the other side is reality, right? And learning, you know, on your feet in the job itself, right? High school was awesome because it taught you, you know, responsibility, right? Show up on time, you know, get your homework done, do this, and build who you are. And I think college is just an extension of that, just a little bit deeper. But, you know, sometimes people don't have time, right? Like they're feeling so much pressure all of a sudden, like, oh my God, I'm graduating high school. I got to go to college. Now I got to figure out what I want to do. And, you know, sometimes having a little time in between might be good. But, you know, sometimes college is for people too. I'm not saying it's a thing, but it's just cool to have the different paths.
I mean, it's such a great time too. Like, some of my, you know, lifelong friends, and just like great experience.
Yeah.
But also it's not, you know, it's not always the only path for people.
True. Yeah.
When you started your real estate business in Boise, in Idaho, what were like what was the biggest challenge of like getting that up and running off the ground? Because real estate is a business. I guess you can work for, you know, a real estate office that's in different capacities, but a lot of it is like you get paid when you make a sale, right?
Yeah.
Like it's a performance-based business. And so I would imagine getting that off the ground and not necessarily having, you know, a reliable, predictable, steady income can be a challenge for people. And correct me if I'm wrong, but like, isn't the stat that like similar to your stat about, you know, 90% of millionaires or whatever, but like the vast majority of people who get a real estate license like never actually sell a deal, right?
Yeah,
Like it's a very competitive market.
Yeah.
It's a very, to be a good realtor is very competitive. A lot of people who get into it, you have to find a way to create clients, and especially you coming from Washington, not having the like friends and family to immediately
I knew one
build
person.
off of. You knew one person.
I knew one person.
So I'd imagine that was a really big challenge, was like just building your network and like getting your real estate business off the ground. So like, yeah, I guess talk to me about those early days and like what that was like.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, everybody thinks real estate, you're showing properties and houses, and it's not like that. Right. And especially like, I mean, there's more to it, especially if you want to be successful. I think, again, the top 1%, 5% agents are doing majority of the deals.
Right.
I mean, don't quote me on the statistics, but like even here in Idaho, I think there's 8,000 or 10,000 licenses, and that was about the same in transactions, if that.
Right.
So you have less than a deal. It's typically like even like half a deal per agent every single year if you average it. So the reality is a small percentage are doing a majority of the work.
Yeah.
You know, so getting into the business, especially not knowing anybody, is very difficult, right? And that's why, you know, getting leads is always super important. And then, you know, every time you try to get in real estate, it's like, hey, call your family, call your friends, call the people you know. And I'm like, it's kind of a double-edged sword. Like, you just got in, you don't know what the heck you're doing, and then you're supposed to turn to your family and friends who are supposed to take pity on you to try to sell a house.
Yeah, and you know, give you the opportunity, and then you hope you don't fuck it up, right?
Well, it's scary because, like, you know, the bar to entry is low to get into real estate.
Yeah,
I mean, it is. I mean, you go for you know, some weeks courses, and you get you know, to help people with the most expensive asset that they're going to buy in their life. So it's pretty crazy. But no, I was fortunate to join a team. Get some leads, have some really good mentors in the very beginning to just help me learn. I mean, sales is sales, but, you know, also I understood real estate because I did transactions, and just understanding Idaho and some of the slight differences, getting to know the areas, which I somewhat knew, and builders and just different people there. So over time, it just, you know, I knew a lot, but it's just kind of fine tuning those things and getting comfortable. And, you know, I think my first year, man, that was actually going back, that was a really transformational time. I think that was probably a pivotal moment in my life, I guess what I'd say. Because of always living at home, leaving, and then making that decision, especially to not have a job and go all commission, was difficult. I mean, I think my first year in real estate, I made like 12 grand.
Yeah.
And like, I remember my dad's like, Spencer, like, you don't have a place to stay if you come home. Like, seriously.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he's like
he wasn't super supportive of you making the jump into real estate.
Don't get me wrong. He's always been supportive, but I was like, Dad, like, this sucks. He's like, well,
it's the decision you made, so make it work.
Decision you made, so figure it out. And I think it was kind of crazy because I almost was gonna come home. I'm like, I'm pushing, I'm calling every day, I'm doing this. I don't know anybody. It would be just as easy to go back home where I know everybody and have a huge network, where I could go and just get deals right away. So it was one of those things where I was like, man, I really got to do this, and focused in, tightened up a lot of those different things, and, you know, here I am now.
When was the moment? Was there like a specific turning point where like the floodgates open and all of a sudden, or was it a slow trickle from like that 12,000 and then the next year it was a little bit more and it was like this slow build? Or do you feel like there was like one thing you did or one connection you made, one mentor you got to work with or something like that like flipped the switch to where it was like, oh shit, like I can actually make a living doing this, and now I feel like I have the, you know, the funnel in place to where I'm not worried about where my next check's going to come from?
Consistency, I think, is the big thing, because they say
no magic pill.
No magic pill. You just got to be consistent. It takes time. I mean, the lead up is usually 6 months, they say, give or take.
Yeah.
But that's actually being focused on it. I was trying to do a bunch of different things because things weren't happening, and, you know, you want that instant gratification of it, and really just focusing down. And then the deals that I did just started coming up, and then, God, ever since then, I've been doing it, 6 years now, 5-6 years?
Yeah.
And I think every single year I've doubled business up to this point so far.
That's sick.
More. So it's been cool.
What's your favorite part about being in real estate?
You know, I really think the challenge of helping people, right? It's the biggest purchase people make in their life. So one of the things that I really enjoy is really understanding what people's needs are, and when I can actually find them the house that they really enjoy and give them all that information so they feel comfortable with it and they feel good about that decision. I think that's true. I know it sounds kind of cheesy, but it's true.
A little cliche, but cliches exist for a reason,
but
right?
I know they do, but it's cool because like when you find the right house, and I tell people this all the time, like, you know, it works. Like when I ask them all the questions, we're going through that whole process. I think it's, again, cliche, but everything happens for a reason. So it's like the other side with the other agent, like if I'm representing a buyer,
some house
that
falls
locks
through
in,
or whatever,
everything starts to feel good. We get a rhythm going. And I always tell people there's always more houses, right? There's always more opportunities. But in those senses, when it all clicks together, they feel good about it. We've gotten them all the information. You know, I just love being proactive and giving them that information. And when they feel good about the transaction, it goes smooth.
Yeah. How would you, I mean, this is both for people who like live in Boise currently or people who are thinking about moving to this area. Like what's your quick, you know, overview of the valley and like how to think about it? Like, right. Cause we are starting to experience that same suburban sprawl thing. Right. And there's a lot of different areas. I think we talked about this on our first episode of like, it's a very different experience being in Star versus being in the north end of Boise or whatever. So like when someone contacts you and they're, hey, we're thinking about moving to Boise, what's kind of like the homework you give them to understand the valley? Yeah,
true. Well, first of all, I'm full service real estate company, so I don't just do relocation.
Plug.
Okay, plug. But but no, when it comes to relocation, I think the thing is you have the home that they want and you have lifestyle. And what you're trying to do is bring those together. Because I don't care how many videos you see, until you come here and see it in person, it can change. And, you know, it's funny, I tell the people the llama story all the time. Can I say the llama story? Can I tell the short version?
Yeah, tell us the llama story.
You know, it goes back to, and that's a cool experience, right? Getting these different scenarios. But like I had a couple from Washington, they were coming out, they were 2 years out. Like, hey, we're 2 years out. We got like 6 alpacas and llamas. We need at least an acre. We don't want to be in any suburbia area. We just want to be out in the outskirts. And I'm like, okay. So they come on into town. I meet with them, do everything I need to get them out to go do some driving tours that I set people up on to really go experience the areas. And they called me back like a day later. And they're like, Spencer, I think we found our house. Not only do we want to move here, we found our house. And I'm like, wait a minute, I thought you were 2 years out. And they're like, well, we've made up our mind. And they picked a house in Meridian on a 1/4 acre in the most suburbia area possible. They're going to sell the alpacas and they want to move here. And it's so interesting that they spend all this time watching all these videos that I put together with my business partner, the things that I do on why Idaho is great and all these different things. But then when they get here, it's amazing how their mind can change. So what I tell people is I listen to you, I take detailed notes. I'm understanding, you know, what your goals and non-negotiables are and what you're looking for. But to a degree, I would be doing a disservice if you didn't keep an open mind because it's a whole new area.
Totally.
So come here. And then we talk about it. Like here, we have the 7-8 major cities, right? From Kuna to Eagle to Boise. Like, let's talk a little bit about those and what would be most important, whether it's the schools or do you want walkability or not is a big one, right? Do you want access to the green belt and the river? Then I just have them go drive. Like I have them take like a half a day tour that's all guided with information. They can go around the Treasure Valley. And then from there, we have, you know, individual city tours so they can go look at each individual city by themselves, you know, kind of unbiasedly without me. And then I come in, right? Me or someone on the team is like, okay, so you did that. You like this and this. Why did you like it? Why didn't you? You know, let's go back to your lifestyle, what you talked about, and then match that with the home they're looking for. You know, irrespective of price point, I can find a lot of homes in a lot of different areas depending on price point, really. So that's why we do that. Start there, bring your lifestyle in, keep those things in mind. And remember, like, you're seeing things so fast and so quick, you have to go back and revisit it. Yeah. So that's the other thing is like, let's go back and relook at those things and really understand. So it's a process. We start kind of out here and try to narrow down. And some people, it happens really quick and some people it doesn't. But I think that's a big thing is taking those two pieces and trying to mesh them together. Yeah.
That's cool. You mentioned your full service real estate. So, you know, not just relocations. Obviously, there are a lot of people relocating to
True. That's
this
a big part of the
area.
business here for sure.
Yeah. I mean, and it's just an inevitable part of a growing area, the desirable area that's growing. Treasure Valley is, you know, a lot of relocations. But how do you, as a realtor, thread that needle between, because there is some of the sentiment amongst longer term Boise residents of like, we don't want people moving here, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's understandable because obviously people don't like change, right?
No.
And it, supply and demand drives prices up, all these things, right? So, how do you?
Here it comes.
Oh, there's the groan that we were all looking for. How do you, as a realtor, as a Boise resident, as someone who has friends and family, and people here, and varying degrees of attitudes and perspectives on that, like how do you thread the needle between like the Boise people who maybe aren't so stoked about like the relocation stuff, but like they're still working with you, and then like the relocation people, and like what's just your perspective of that landscape of like the challenges of, hey man, it's a desirable place to live and people are going to move here whether you embrace it or not, but also being like empathetic to people who have maybe lived in Boise their entire lives, and like the city that they grew up in and love is changing and getting more expensive, and getting the influences of the darn Californians or whoever it is. Like what's your take on like that?
Great question. Four things.
Thanks.
Four things. Change your license plate, right? Change your number to 208. Float the Boise River and get a side-by-side, and then you're basically a local. That's what I tell them.
That's all it takes.
No, you said it. You hit the nail on the head. I mean, inevitably, people don't like change, and Boise has changed in this whole surrounding area, and it's really hard. I mean, I don't know really how to toe the line. I mean, it's changing. It's not me. I can't stop the people from coming.
Right.
I mean,
that's what I was saying. Like it's a snowball that's rolling down the hill. Like it's going to accumulate more snow, and there's nothing you can do.
I mean, half the time I feel like a therapist, right? And that's kind of a running joke. Like, hey, I'm not just a realtor. I'm also a therapist at the same time. I mean, I think the big thing is helping locals just understand maybe growth paths. Like, hey, I mean, but remember, they're benefiting from it too. So, if they have a house that they've lived in forever, I mean, the values of their home is going up. Yes, it's changed.
Right.
But they can also take advantage of that opportunity to maybe move out to some other areas. So we can talk about like, hey, there's 10,000 homes going up in Star, do you want to be in that growth path or do you want to go somewhere else? So it's a hard one. I don't really have an answer to say I could toe the line other than, sitting there and listening to them and, and really saying, hey, I get it. But, outside of that, I mean, it's what it is.
Yeah. Well, we focused a lot so far on like you as a real estate agent and your real estate business and your perspective on the market and everything. But like you also are a business owner because your real estate business has grown and like, you've been successful at this. And so you've been able to build a team around you.
Yeah.
So I guess as not just a realtor in Boise, but as a business owner, as an employer in Boise, like what have been the best parts and maybe like worst parts of seeing your business grow? Cause like, I think real estate is something that people get into and you kind of think of it, at least my perspective would be as like sort of an individual pursuit, right? Like maybe you have the support of an agency or something like that, but like, it's you out there. And so maybe you're not viewing it when you get started as like, this is a business, but like it becomes a business once you have to start hiring people and you have to start being a boss and a manager and you just have to delegate and you have to build SOPs and you have to do all this other stuff.
Yeah.
And like the growth. So like, I guess talk to me about the transition from like being a realtor who's out there on their own to like, now I have this real estate company and employees that I have to manage and people whose livelihood is like, directly tied to my performance as a business owner.
Yeah. No, how's
that been?
Look at that question, man. You're on a roll. No, I think the thing is you have to realize is it's changing people's mindsets of what they know. So when
you say
think,
people, you mean customers,
clients.
Your clients
when we're helping them because inevitably I think I can help them better when I have a business and a team that's around me.
Yeah.
I can have people specialize in certain areas, set expectations, constantly be available or have someone available to answer and get them the things that they need. So I think that's a big thing with clients is getting them to understand like, hey, you're getting me, but you're also getting all these other benefits, all these other people that can help you. And remember, I'm steering the ship. So if I'm not actually in it, having to do all these other details, but I can steer the ship, I think it, gives a better experience, and I mean, a perfect example, like if I'm out showing properties with someone and I need to get into a house, like I could be on the phone calling and trying to find that agent, or I can just call my team and say, hey, get a hold of those people. Let's get this connected. Let's change this and this. Hey, did we do this? So it just gives me way more flexibility to ultimately stay with the client. And even if I'm not, right? If I have people that are trained to go open a door and show them a property, they can still do that, and I'm still there. So whether I go back afterwards to look at that property or I'm helping them through the process and negotiating a contract, I think overall it's just trying to get them to understand, hey, it's not just me. It's like when you go to, maybe this is not the best example, but you go to buy a car, right? So if I was the owner of the dealership, do you call me, unless you're my friend, and say, hey, I need to buy a car? No, hey, go see Steve, the sales manager. He's going to go help you. We're going to get you someone. We're going to get you that vehicle.
He's actually the best person suited to do this part of the thing.
Yeah. I mean, I know the whole process. I created all the systems, right? Like I directed everything. I know what's going to happen, and I'm trying to provide the best customer experience as possible and put people in these different positions to help you at any point, and also be proactive. That's the other thing. If you're an individual agent, you know, it's hard enough to just go show properties and write contracts. It's another thing to be proactive in the scenario and build systems that are able to help people. So again, same with the car dealership. You go buy a car. Hey, I need to maintenance my car. Okay, go see Mike. He's the service manager or one of the techs there.
So you probably don't want the owner of the car dealership doing the maintenance on your car.
And that's the thing with real estate, right? I'm here. I still do it all. I know how to do it. I've set the systems. I've done the training. I'm still there.
But it's also awesome that you were able to give other people opportunities as well, you know, to be...
Yeah,
you're an employer as well in the area, and
True.
so you're helping people's livelihoods. I think we are coming up on time, if I see your watch correctly. Also, do you have your watch in? Is that in Boise time?
Oh no, dude.
It looks like that's almost 4:30. I was like, what?
Yeah,
why
something
are you
happened.
in Central Time?
I don't know what happened.
You're in Central Time.
time is it?
Interesting. Interesting. Okay, my last question for you. Oh wait, we got
9 minutes.
Okay, well maybe not my last question, but a question is, why Boise, right? Like you grew up in Washington.
Yeah.
Obviously you came here, you enjoyed it. Yeah. But like real estate's something that realistically you could do anywhere in the country.
You can.
It's, you know, so what is it about the Boise community? What is it about, even going back to the question you asked me about this podcast of like, why do this podcast? What is unique about Boise that has kept you here and that has caused you to start your business and like be deeply rooted? See that? Rooted in this community as opposed to any other that you could go to.
Yeah. Wow, dude, 3 great questions in a row.
Gosh, great question. Can I pat myself?
Yeah, please do. I'd pat you, but I got to stay in this chair.
The microphone. Yeah.
You know,
we don't want you groaning trying to get out from that cross-legged position right there.
I know. I got to switch up here pretty soon. I'm going to switch up. Look, no. Oh, look
I'll
at that.
switch with you. Yeah.
You switch it? Okay.
Yeah.
Now it doesn't look so awkward. You know, honestly, Boise and the surrounding area, it has an energy. And I know it sounds weird, but I meet so many people. I get to talk to so many people. There's just something really good about it. Like, it's safe, it's clean. You know, it's high mountain desert. You don't get crazy, winters or summers, but you get all 4 seasons. But if I want to go up into the snow, I drive 30 minutes up to Bogus and I'm at 8,500-ish feet. Go to canyons and sand dunes and mountains. And I think the access to outdoors is what kept me here too. And the fact that we don't get 6 feet of snow down here. In the summer we get the heat, but then it kind of goes away. The green belt and the river. I mean, I've been to San Antonio and Bend and seen those river things. I just don't think they hold a candle to our green belt. I mean, I might be biased, but I think it's that lifestyle, and the people are just awesome. Boise is a small town feel with large city amenities.
Yeah.
We got Costco's and Top Golf and all these access to all these things, but it has that really cool vibe. It's interesting when people are like, oh, I don't want to be in the city. It's like, well, you haven't been here yet. And it just has that different feel for right now. And it's changing. I mean, it has changed, but I think it's still kept its character. And that's why I think, even doing this podcast is really cool to meet the people that make this community.
Yeah.
And get to know them so that doesn't get lost as we grow. Because again, all the big companies and different places are coming here, but I think that kind of feeling, the good people that are here and all the things I just talked about are what kept me here.
Yeah. Heck yeah. What is something I haven't asked you? Like what do you want people to know about, like, whether it's about you and your journey or your story or, Boise or whatever, like what's like something that you don't think gets enough airtime that you would like want someone to know, either about you or about Boise or about aliens.
Man.
Like, do you think aliens are real?
I'm funnier than I look. I'm actually a funny person. I want people to know that.
Yeah. Spencer's a good guy to banter with. I enjoyed bantering with Spencer.
No, God, man, you kind of hit me on the spot.
I know.
there.
I just gave you an opportunity. Feel free to take that one. Baseball analogy. You want to be a baseball? It's like, hey man, that's on the outside.
I want
corner.
the home run, dude. No, I'm gonna hit that to
low and
oppo. I'm
outside.
going
If you want to wait for the next pitch, that's okay.
Yeah. No, just that, I like long walks on the beach. No, I don't know. I mean, there's nothing special about me. I just, I care about what I do. I actually get excited. That's the thing.
Yeah.
About Idaho and when I meet so many different people is I really truly love this place.
Yeah.
And I get excited and I like to say I have integrity. Maybe people don't know that, right? But I really do what I say I'm going to do, and maybe people don't know that because I'm funny. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I mean, you've certainly been the driving force behind starting this podcast, and I've just kind of been along for the ride. And so, thanks for bringing me along to talk into a microphone. But every time we've met to talk about this podcast, I will just attest that Spencer brings a lot of energy, enthusiasm, ideas, preparation. Every time I show up, he's got more papers for me to go through and read through. So I have no doubts in your ability and skill as a realtor. But also just as a person who does bring a lot of enthusiasm and passion to the things that he does. Whether it's the ADHD brain or whatever it is, this guy's always moving and shaking and doing cool shit. So, thanks for letting me pepper you with questions.
Thanks, man. I love it.
And be thoughtful about your responses.
Thanks, man.
I'm excited to do this podcast and continue bringing people into the chairs and chatting with them and hearing their stories.
I love it. On to the next episode.
All right. See y'all later.